Florida. I'm very excited about it. And, early voting numbers are high here in Florida. And Republican early voter turnout is much higher than Democrat turnout. And I will go over on my next podcast. But um, I had to wait in line to vote early, which is always good. When I had to wait in line to vote early, and Republican voters are outnumbering by tens of thousands Democrat voters, that's great news for the state of Florida. We've got momentum. And of course, I voted for Byron Donalds for governor of Florida. And of course, he's endorsed by the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. And not only is Byron Donalds endorsed by President Trump, he's going to be the first black governor elected of the state of Florida, and he's going to be a Republican, which is very nice. That's exactly right. It's absolutely amazing. He's going to be a great governor. A great governor. I can't believe how many people are running for governor. The list of people running for governor in the Republican primary was like this freaking long. What a joke. Some people just like to waste their time, but to wait in line, to have to wait in line, it wasn't a long wait, but there was still a line to vote in early voting. Really, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what the numbers in Florida, it means that we, the Republicans, MAGA, we have momentum, and that momentum is going to continue until election day, and we're going to win then too. And this is the first time in early voting that Republicans early votes have outnumbered Democrat early votes in the state of Florida. It's always been just the opposite. And the Democrat Party, their entire game is based on early voting, right? The Democrats, everything the Democrats do involves early voting. And when they are not able to turn out people to vote early, that means they are in big trouble. Well, they have no momentum. They have nothing but dysfunctional candidates, the Democrats, and they also have no party agenda. Hating Trump and impeaching Trump is not a platform. I mean, my goodness, people are bored with that. How many times they want to impeach the guy? But voting for Byron Donalds, it felt good. It does. It's a new thing in the MAGA era, right? Since Trump came down the escalator, when you go and vote for President Trump or MAGA candidates that are endorsed by President Trump, it just feels good. I go in, I vote for Byron Donalds. I know he's endorsed by President Trump, and it feels good. It really does. Yeah, it really does feel good because you're voting for good, strong, patriotic Americans who love the country, not hate it, who want the country to succeed, not fail, like the Democrats do. The Democrats hate the country and they want the country to fail. I mean, right now, look at what they're doing. The Democrats actually want us to lose a war with Iran. Can you imagine? They're literally out there rooting for Iran. Dictators don't have elections, man. If President Trump were a dictator, we wouldn't have these elections. He would just make it so. I mean, what is the Democrat Party platform? See what I mean? They want to think that we're losing in Iran. We whooped Iran's butt. No one has even seen their leader since the war began. The Ayatollah's son that they say is the new Ayatollah. No one's even seen him. By obliterate, do you mean made it great again? Well, here, Florida used to be a Democrat state not that long ago. And now, for the first time ever, we're beating the Democrats in early voting numbers by tens of thousands. On my next podcast, I want to go through the numbers. I have the latest numbers today. And that signals bad news for the Democrats. It really truly does. I mean, why would you go and vote Democrat? What is their policy platform? Vote for us. We're going to do this, that, and this other thing. What are they even saying? Other than impeach Trump. That's not a policy. That's not a platform. And you're not going to turn people out to vote without a platform, on top of the fact that Donald Trump is loved by the people of this country. That's right. I'm living in Trump's America. That's where I'm living. Jerry says, why do you think the foot washing stations in that airport are objectively a bad thing overall? Give me objectively valid reasons. What he's talking about, the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, I was talking about this on the program yesterday. They are putting in Islamic foot washing stations in the airport. Because first off, there's no purpose of that, and other than the Islamification of the country. They're trying to Islamify Texas, and if you get Islamic foot washing stations at the airport, it begins to normalize Islamic things that are going on, and then before you know it, Dallas becomes what New York has become. That's why. And I am not objective. I'm strongly opinionated. Okay, not some nonpartisan hack. I was watching this debate with Candace Owens, Patrick Bet-David, and whoever this guy is. The great debate. That is the dumbest thing I've ever about the next podcast. This whole event debate was the dumbest, most. I wouldn't even say overhyped, because it wasn't really hyped. What a waste of time. It wasn't a debate. It was an ego exercise for everyone except Candace Owens, who apparently, I don't know. I was reading online. She got paid. She wanted $500,000 to do the debate. Andrew something, yeah, yeah. That guy that's debating Candace Owens. I mean, Candace is a nut. Don't miss, but he is so freaking nervous. Did you see that guy? His foot was shaking so fast, nonstop. He was so nervous. You could tell he was terrified, totally terrified. He looked like an idiot. And just the foot shaking alone, how embarrassing. But it was not a debate. And Candace Owens is 7 months pregnant, first of all, which if it's a real debate, which it's not, it was like as real as professional wrestling. I mean, it was so ridiculous. And I don't know, is this guy Andrew something? Does he think he's going to be the new face of MAGA? I mean, I was watching the debate. I can't remember his last name. And I was not impressed. You know what he kind of reminded me of? He kind of reminds me of Jonah Hill, the actor. And I don't know if he claims to be MAGA or a conservative. I don't know anything about this Andrew Jonah Hill lookalike. But and Jonah Hill before he lost all the weight, by the way. But he does not act like a gentleman. He made a comment about women, and then he laughed. I couldn't believe what he said. So I don't know who this guy thinks he is. I've never heard of him before. But he was nervous as hell. But the fact that she's sitting there 7 months pregnant, she can hardly move, and they were in her studio, so she's got home field advantage. You would not debate. You don't debate a 7-month pregnant lady. You know, you don't debate a pregnant lady like that when you're a conservative. That's not the gentlemanly thing. He looked like an idiot. He sounded like an idiot. He was so bad. I wouldn't say he made her look good, but the whole purpose of that was just, well, with Candace, it was to make money. Okay, so at least we know her purpose. And there's nothing wrong with making money. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with making money, but I'm unclear is it if she was paid 300 or 500,000. I don't know, and where the money came from, I don't know. But Patrick Bet David and this Andrew Jonah Hill lookalike, um, it was just a publicity stunt for them. Candace got paid, and they're doing a publicity stunt. It served no purpose. Nothing new was established. What a waste of time. And I think that the Andrew guy just humiliated himself. That one comment he made about women, and then his foot was shaking the whole time. I understand he was nervous. I mean, he's here. He is going up against Candace Owens, who is one of the most famous women in the world. So he was obviously intimidated by her. I mean, imagine being intimidated by a 7-month pregnant woman that you're having a discussion with. Oh, yes, in Massachusetts, exactly. I mean, that's how Democrats are. They hate children. I mean, what is the point? It really, this abortion law that the governor of Massachusetts signed into law, right? Democrats, why would you sign a law or advocate for a law um, legalizing up until birth, right? And the reason they did that, it's Trump derangement syndrome. Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, and they just want to try to undo something that Trump did. So they did that, and they're stupid. I mean, they're a bunch of mingalas to do something like that. There's no good reason to have an abortion that late into the pregnancy. Not one. I mean, look at Candace Owens, 7 months pregnant. And with this new law in Massachusetts, you could have an abortion far past that point, and you could see how big that baby is inside her womb. Psychos. They should be supporting women having their babies. It's total Trump derangement syndrome is what it was. They got to get something over on President Trump. If you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Yep. Dustin, welcome. They don't care about the child. No, it's, they're so consumed with hate. They can't, that's just a stupid thing. Yeah. See, back during the Roe v. Wade, and I'm not justifying it even then, but back in the Roe v. Wade days in 1973, that was a long time ago, man. That was 53 years ago. Um, Babies they weren't viable outside the womb as early as they are now, right? Because medical technology, it's 50 years ago. Think about it. 53 years before that, it was 19. And look, I mean, so medical technology has advanced so much that babies are viable in the womb so much earlier than they were in 1973. That's one reason that had to be overturned, because the Roe v. Wade ruling was based on the medical technology of 1973. I mean, that's crazy. Also, my mother's adopted, and her birth mother was pregnant out of wedlock, and my mother was born in the 50s, okay, early 50s. And when my grandparents died, she tracked down her birth mother, and her birth mother told her the whole story. She had gotten pregnant. She wasn't married, so she went and she said she went and stayed with a relative out of town, away from her circle. when she started showing, had my mother and gave my mother up for adoption. She says, "That's what you did. That's what you did," and that was in the 50s. I mean, there's no purpose in abortion, especially as late as this psycho governor signed it into law in Massachusetts. They're just they're just sickos, just complete sickos. Yeah, if you're new, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Absolutely. But that's how Democrats are. I mean, the Democrats have never done anything for good reasons. I just started the Steve Jobs biography by Isaacson, and that book was written many years ago, but I got it on the audiobook on Spotify, and I was listening to it today. And the begin, Steve Jobs was adopted, and the whole beginning of the book is about his birth parents and how he ended up with his parents, how they ended up adopting him, and everything else. And I mean, think about it. If Steve Jobs' birth mother had had an abortion, look at the things we would not have in this world. Look at what Apple did and what Apple has given the world technology wise, right? How much has this world lost because of all the lives the liberals have snuffed out with abortions? Think about that. We'll never know the answer to that. But yeah, it is. It makes you think. It makes you think. You know. But liberals are consumed with rage. I mean, look at the liberal trolls in the chat room. I mean, there's just nothing but rage and hate, name calling, and things like this. Just liberals are just angry, and they're always wanting to lash out and hurt someone or make someone feel bad, because liberals are so consumed with hate and rage. They hate themselves so much. They channel it through other people, rage at other people. It must be very frustrating to be a liberal. I would imagine being a liberal would be in a constant state of having a headache. Adulting, exactly. Adulting. Yeah. Yeah. Grow up. Yep. Democrats are pathetic. Absolutely. Hey, yeah, forever. Yep. Democrats are pathetic. Absolutely forever. Yep. You cannot trust Fetterman. Fetterman is a snake. He's trying to sound reasonable. He's a liberal lunatic. He is a liberal lunatic, Fetterman. Do not trust Fetterman. Mm-hmm. Yep. Go talk to people. I'm talking to you guys right now. I'm in the driveway of my house. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at the rage just with the liberals in the chat here. These are the people that want to run the country. So if you're just joining, I just voted for Byron Donalds for governor of Florida. And this is the last day of early voting in Florida, I believe. And I went in, I voted early, and it felt good. It felt good. And here in Florida, for the very first time, Republicans in the early vote, which includes the mail-in vote, mail-in and early voting is the same tally, where our turnout is tens of thousands higher than the Democrat turnout. This has never happened before. The Democrats always have a higher turnout. And for the first time, Republicans are beating them in the turnout, which shows that the Democrats have no momentum and they are going to lose the midterms. Mail-in and early voting gets counted together. And the Democrat machine is all based around early voting and mail-in voting. And they're so behind in Florida. They have no momentum. They have no candidates. They have no agenda. They have no platform, right? You know, yeah. No. Oh, by the way, no, I'm not going to run for Congress. No, not me. Absolutely. Always support President Trump for life. My wife was telling me that Mark Halperin, and I don't know, I gotta watch it. My wife was telling me that Mark Halperin has been saying that President Trump is upset with JD and that he wants to pass him over for Marco Rubio. I don't know if that's true or not, but Mark Halperin's been hitting that pretty hard. I'm glad we got this liberal lunatic Democrat arrested today that defaced the World War II memorial in Washington, D.C. Did you see that lunatic? I like Vance. I mean, Marco Rubio would be my first pick, but JD's the vice president. So, and Marco Rubio said he will not run if JD runs. Do you guys think Doc from Texas sounds like he sounds like oh shoot, Chris Tucker? Trump took a bullet. Trump got shot by the Never Trumpers in Butler, and he stood up at the same stage seconds later, covered in blood, and said, "Fight, fight, fight." That's pretty damn brave. Pretty brave. President Trump is incredibly brave. His voice, he sounds like Chris Tucker, doesn't he? I mean, look at the what the he look at these liberal trolls. It's just rage. Just hate. Hated Israel. Hated MAGA. Hate. Upset. All caps. Angry. You know. Spammy. It's really sad, isn't it? And not only did he stand up after he got shot covered in blood, he went back to the same stage and gave the full speech. That takes a lot of guts. President Trump is incredibly brave. He's had more assassination attempts against him than all of the other presidents combined, and he still goes out there every day. He's a very brave man, President Trump. We're very lucky to have him, and we're lucky to be living and blessed to be living through his presidencies. Hmm. Oh yeah, watching them live on television, Correspondence Dinner, all that's fake in your mind, huh? Oh sure, I support ICE, absolutely. Hmm. Earning money is not stealing. It's not theft, right? Hmm. Why would you want to put President Trump in jail? He doesn't sleep. He works and works and works and works. Profit is not a dirty thing. For you communist, Democrat, socialist, I know it is, but it's not a dirty thing. You want to have a wealthy president. They can't be bought off. I'm Native American too. I was born right here in the United States of America. That makes me a Native American. Absolutely. Hmm. Nope, he doesn't even take a salary. He donates his salary. Exactly, Ursula. Exactly. Make sure you guys subscribe. That's new. All of a sudden, you liberal trolls are against cryptocurrency. If you're born in the United States, you're a Native American. Hmm. That's right. He didn't take salary in either of his terms. Mm-mm. Nope. Hmm. No, nobody likes Biden. I'll have a podcast tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. Yeah, I just voted for Byron Donald, so I'm very excited. He does have a beautiful family. So did any of you watch this stupid event with Candace Owens, this Andrew guy that looks like Jonah Hill and Patrick Bet-David today? The big debate. What a stupid thing that whole event was. Just stupid. It served no purpose. To me, it looked like an infomercial for Patrick Bet-David and this Andrew Jonah Hill lookalike. That, Candace got paid. She did it for the money. I get it, but the other two, it was just stupid. Well, I watched it so I could talk about it. I got to be able to talk about it, but there's not much to report other than it was a stupid waste of time. People making such a big deal about it. Give me a break. Andrew something. He looks like Jonah Hill. Oh, we love the Constitution. Of course we love it. Well, it was reported Candace Owens wanted $500,000 to do the event. And this Andrew Jonah Hill impersonator offered her $300,000 that she turned down. So I don't know how much money she eventually got. Andrew Wilson. I mean, who's Andrew Wilson? I never heard of him before. And I didn't care for him. I don't like Candace Owens, but this Andrew character, they acted like he was some big deal. He's not. He was so nervous. His foot would not stop shaking. I've never seen someone so well. I take that back. He was like Fauci. He was shaking like Fauci's hands were shaking in that congressional hearing. This guy's foot was like this the whole time. He couldn't stop shaking his foot. Yeah, I just voted for Byron Donalds. That's right. Right here in Florida, voted early. It's best to vote early. You really want to vote early. Voting early is very good. I mean, the fact that we're tens of thousands ahead of the Democrats in turnout, that helps us next week on the regular election day. We got the momentum and people are excited. Unfortunately, Hassan Piker was born in the United States. No, I don't like Candace Owens either, but the whole event was stupid. I know Florida's the best state. I love Florida. Well, Fauci is evil, no doubt about it. No, nothing will happen to Fauci. That is correct. Nothing will happen to him. She didn't lose thing. I got to tell you, there was no debate. It was a publicity stunt for the Andrew Jonah Hill guy and Patrick Bet-David. It was just a publicity stunt. That's all it was. I mean, first off, I wouldn't go debate a woman who's 7 months pregnant, right? I mean, I do not like Candace Owens. She's been very, the last year and a half, she's just done terrible things. But I wouldn't debate a pregnant woman. And I mean, if you were scoring it, I think she made him look like a jerk. I don't know who this Andrew Wilson guy is. How many of you heard of him before this event? I've never heard of him. Something went off in her brain. Yeah, something. Because she is, she's a nut. She's a nut. Now, if you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe, all right? I'll see you tomorrow morning. Don't miss the program tomorrow, my podcast. I'll talk more about the